please count me in. I'll try that.
All right, we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, folks? This is Jasper Fox making yet another YouTube video. As you can see, I'm not really in my usual spots, which is just my room. I'm in a studio that I'm borrowing for this video. This probably won't be a permanent thing. I'm just giving it a test run. So here's the title of my video. It's above my head. It's Women in the Workplace. And if you see me move my arms in different directions, you'll know that's it's not relevant. Okay, so here's the story. So I heard this from a friend of mine. I'm not going to say who because I didn't ask their permission to say. It was about the women engineers working for this company, Uber. Uber, if you can see that. Okay, out of the light. There we go, Uber. Progress. Okay, so here's the thing. This does address some issues outside of just Uber because it's not the only company that's doing it. Here's the issue that a lot of women face, and it's not a surprise to anyone nowadays. This one boss asked this lady engineer that worked under him to basically go on a date and all, other stuff that I would not say. And she said no, and now he's affecting how she gets paid and stuff like that, how she's, like, her performance reviews, and, it's coming down negatively on her, and so she's trying to get out of this. She's trying to transfer, but she can't because her boss is keeping her there, and, and it's stupid, all because of he wants to have a relationship, and, why? I mean, office romances are not a good thing, we all know that, but here's the thing, it's worse when it's your superior, because that's when a lot of people can either get really well or really screwed. Usually it's really screwed either way. Like, say, it does work out, you live on happy ever after, yada, 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 yay. But the thing is, it affects other people differently, because then they think it's biased or something. Because, you're with that person romantically. Say you're a person in the workplace and your spouse, whoever they are, I'm equal rights, say that's your superior, and, say things work out great, yay, but then it starts to get other people suspicious, and they start to think, oh shit, what's that? And that, but of course then there's also the inverse, where the relationship goes to shit, pretty much. Sorry. And basically, then if it's still superior, that can reflect poorly on you. You could either lose your job or you can make it so you want to quit, but you can't because you're in this spiral of, I don't know what to call it. I'll think of a name later. And, that's not a good thing to get into. So, of course, what people recommend is don't get into it at all. Just say no, and you're perfectly welcome to do that. But the thing is, years ago, here's why I'm addressing this. Years ago, Uber had about 25% women engineers, but nowadays they're starting to lose that number, all because of some assholes who work superior to them. They treat the ladies like, you can do whatever you want to them, you can just touch them, yeah. They're just being huge creeps and, disgusting stuff like that. And, it's affecting other people as well, because, it's also affecting the men in the workplace, because in that case, they think, oh, that's okay, I can do this too. It's not okay. If they say no, no means fucking no. Realize that. You have to open your eyes for a second, because I also saw this one video on John Oliver where people are saying this at Yale. It's going to take a second for me to write down, but it's really disgusting, and it makes me somewhat sad to be a guy, because God knows how many men are thinking this right now. I'll put it to the side as you can see this. Pretty much, no means yes, yes means anal, and that's just stupid. That doesn't mean it. No means no, yes means yes, consent is consent. You need to get consent to do this kind of thing. Not to mention, if you're just behaving like this, like what this manager did to one of his female workers, that's not only unprofessional, it makes you seem childish. That is an accurate description. And if you're watching this video and you say, like if you're thinking this and you say, oh, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal, yeah. It is a big deal. We just don't think about it as much because nowadays it's so commonplace. It's ridiculous. It really is. And Christ knows how many other people are doing this. It's not right. I mean, now I don't know about this because I haven't had a lot of experience with this. Clearly on either side actually, because I did have a job a while back, and I didn't have this experience. Thank God no one behaved like that. But if someone is doing this to you, like if you're a woman in the workplace and you have a shit boss who's doing this kind of thing to you, speak up. Try and go to someone else. But the thing is, with this lady, she did speak up. She went to HR, and HR pretty much said it was her fault. They didn't do shit about it whatsoever. So now that she went to the press, and now there's this whole big story. Surprise! Now it's not going well for the boss, because that's reflecting poorly on him and on the people in Uber and, several other people connected to Uber. It's kind of like this other video I addressed with PewDiePie, and how he made a couple of jokes, and now Wall Street Journal went to the people he worked for. It's kind of like that kind of thing. You need to get the situation settled down well enough to where that's, if it goes too far, clearly it's going to affect how you as a company or you as a person, how you stand. Because now this lady is stuck in a situation where she can't transfer, she can't leave this guy, and now this guy, he's probably facing charges against her or something like that. He's dealing with the press and all that stuff. And it's absurd, clearly. Mostly absurd that he did that kind of thing. I mean, seriously, why? Not to mention, because especially in some workplaces, it's also bad to have a relationship in the workplace. Not just if you're, not just depending on which gender you are, because it doesn't matter which gender you are. Either way, it can work horribly for you, depending how the relationship goes. It's not a good idea, because sometimes, like I said before, sometimes it works out really well, and people are so happy that they found this wonderful person to work with, and they get along so well. But the thing is, if you're here's the thing. If you're going to have an office relationship, keep it professional. Sorry, and keep any issues you have at home. That should be said about even if you do have a relationship or if you don't have a relationship. Either way, keep your issues at home, because if you bring it to the workplace, it will not only affect your performance, but it will also affect. I can't speak. It will also affect how. How the situation is at work, and like I said, depending on how it goes, negatively or positively, the situation could be used against you or for you. It doesn't matter. But of course, there's there's a whole bunch of other situations that I haven't even come close to delving into. That's also circular around this kind of thing. I addressed a couple of years ago, I believe, about women's pay, how it's usually less than men's. That's stupid. And then some people told me that that's a lie, that women get paid just as much as men do. I don't know about that. And, if that's true, fantastic. If that's a lie, fix it. There's no reason to do that. Because, there's no reason to deduct a woman's pay that's lower than a man's for no reason. I mean, what excuse do you have that could justify that? In fact, what excuse could you have to, give a person poor performance reviews and prevent them from transferring away from you, other than the fact that you just want to fuck them? That's not right. That's not okay. It really isn't. It's a situation that needs to be addressed, and in a way that it fixes a lot of things. But the problem is, it might not be fixed because, like I said, for one thing, it's so commonplace, and for another thing, how can you fix it? I mean, it's not going to be easy because, just fix one thing. You can fire the manager, but then say he works somewhere else, he's probably going to do the same thing to that person as well. And you can't just keep them out of a job. I mean, some people might want to do that. But the thing is, that also brings down the man to a state where he can't even provide for himself. And, I'm not for that. I think that should at least have a chance to, either redeem yourself and get a well-paying job or something like that. Just give them a chance to fix themselves. That's what I believe. But some people don't get that chance, so a lot of times they don't really improve. And so the situation like this, it continues on and on and on. And we have a whole bunch of people that are doing this. Like I said, so commonplace. But is there really a situation, like a solution to this problem? If so, please tell me, because I actually have no idea. Because so many people do it. Apparently, I've heard Trump does it. I'm not sure if this is true or not, and based on everything that Trump says, it really wouldn't be that much of a surprise, anyways. Okay, and also let's see what else I can talk about. I think that's it. So thank you for watching. I do hope you appreciated this video. You can like, you can comment, you can share this video if you want. You can subscribe to my channel or search my channel and find more videos like this. And I'll be back with more more gameplays, blogs, songs, things like that. If you have any questions, comment below, and I shall try to respond to them. Oh yeah, I also forgot to put on here my website, which I haven't made a link to yet. I am writing it down. Here you can give me advice for videos and such. It hasn't. Well, it's already up now because it's a ProBoard site. I just don't use it. So it's okay. So it's Jasper Fox freeforums.freeforums.net. Okay, so I'll erase this because I don't want it to stay on the board and affect it because I reuse this thing. So that's all I got. Thanks so much. This is Jasper Fox signing out. Cheers.